UFC 272, Covington versus Masvidal, full card prediction. We got 13 fights on the card. Jorge Gamebred Masvidal versus Colby Covington in the welterweight 5-round main event. We got Rafael and Rafael dos Anjos, the battle of the Rafaels, to see who is the best lightweight Rafael in the UFC. That is also a 5-round non-title fight in the lightweight division. We got top 10 featherweights, Bryce, Michal, and Edson Barboza. Kevin Holland, a ranked middleweight, going down to the welterweight division, fighting Alex Oliveira, Sergey Spivak, and Greg Hardy. Guys that only really lose to ranked opponents. They're going to be fighting in the heavyweight division. We got Jalin Turner, Jamie Mullarkey at lightweight, Xiaonan, Marina Rodriguez. Girls that only have lost to Carla Esparza in the UFC. Negumereanu, Kennedy, Nzechukwu at light heavyweight. Mariya, Agapova, Marina, Moroz at flyweight. Brian Kelleher, Umar, Nurmagomedov at bantamweight. Tagir, Ulanbekov, Elliot at flyweight. Ludovit, Klein, Devonte Smith, short notice at lightweight. And Michal, Oleksiejczuk, and Dustin, Jacoby at light heavyweight. So we got a lot of really good fights. Again, if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys go down and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications as usual. And if you want to see all of the parlays, all of the prop bets, the straight bets, the underdog bets, whatever bet, the overs, the unders, whatever bet I'm going to be making on this card, go to your desktop browser and press this join button for 10 cents a day to see all of my best MMA bets, or go to the end of any one of my videos, literally the last 10-15 seconds of any one of my videos. You can become a member for 10 cents a day. That is about it to see all of my bets. Just click that one right there. But thank you guys for watching right there. We're going to go into the first fight in the UFC light heavyweight division. Dustin Jacoby and Michal Oleksiejczuk in the light heavyweight division. Michal, very solid boxing. He's got very fast hands, but he's not as tall, he's not as lengthy, and he doesn't have the kicking game of Dustin Jacoby. If he's going to be Dustin, it's not going to be in the striking, and it's going to be more geared towards the wrestling and grappling game of Michal Oleksiejczuk. But Michal Oleksiejczuk isn't really the best wrestler or grappler. In fact, his 2 losses in the UFC have actually come on the ground by submission to solid guys, Ovi St. Preux with the Von Flue, and then Jimmy Crute by the Kimura. Then one other triangle choke submission loss and one knockout loss. Every single loss has been a finish, and almost every single win has been a finish as well. Jacoby, very solid striking, really good hands, and very good kicks. Fought some really good guys in kickboxing like Tony Lopez, Terrence Hodges, and I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, he did fight Alex Pereira right there. He did get knocked out in the first round, but that's not the point. He's a very solid striker in the UFC, knocking out Justin Ledet with leg kicks, beating Maxime Grisham in a controversial decision, getting a draw with Ian Cutelaba, then knocking out Darren Stewart and beating John Allen. I think this is a pretty easy prediction here. Michal Oleksiejczuk is the faster puncher. He might have slightly better boxing if it was a pure boxing fight, but Dustin is taller by 3 inches. He's going to have a 4-inch reach advantage, which should help narrow the gap in the boxing, as well as the leg kick and the body kick in that range. Should be a pretty easy fight for Dustin Jacoby, in my opinion. Michal needs to go out there, pressure the boxing, and mix in the wrestling, but I don't think it's going to happen. I see this being a striking fight for 3 straight rounds, and even though Michal has lost every single fight by finish, I think Dustin's going to win this one by a decision right here. So, Dustin Jacoby, 30-27, unanimous decision. Ludovit, Klein, and Devonte Smith in the lightweight division. It is short notice. Originally, we had Devonte Smith versus Eric Gonzalez. Not too sure what happened there. Gonzalez has some sort of a foot injury, and now we're going to have Ludovit Klein step in and fight Devonte Smith. I'm going to say it right now, Devonte being the taller guy, the lengthier guy by 4 inches, and just overall being the bigger opponent as a natural lightweight competitor fighting a natural featherweight competitor here. So all the size, reach, height advantage, all of that thing, they're all going to go to advantage for Devonte Smith. He's going to be taller, lengthier, and bigger than Ludovit Klein. Ludovit maybe has the kicking advantage going out there, landing some really solid kicks in his debut in the UFC, knocking out Shane Young, but he doesn't have the best cardio, and it is short notice. We do know that that a lot of fighters that take fights on short notice, their cardio, you know, it really isn't the best. So I don't necessarily think it's going to be too good here. Devonte being taller, lengthier, not taking the fight on short notice, having the better boxing, be more powerful. I think we're going to see a knockout here. Ludovit Klein just lost his last fight to Nate Landwehr by anaconda choke submission. Devonte, not going to go for a submission. He's going to go for the knockout, or he's going to get knocked out. And with the fact that he's bigger, taller, lengthier, Ludovit taking the fight on short notice, Devonte having the power advantage, I think we're going to see a knockout here. So my prediction, Devonte Smith by knockout in the first or second rounds. Tagir Ulanbekov and Tim Elliot in the flyweight division. Tagir Ulanbekov, solid guy right here. 13 wins, 1 loss, a minus 255 favorite here, much younger than Tim Elliot by 5 years. Going to be the same height, but he will have a 3-inch reach advantage. Not really going to matter too much because Tagir can't really strike that good. I mean, his striking kind of comes down to a jab, 1-2, and then he goes for the takedown. That's pretty much it. His only loss was Zhalga Zhumagulov in 2018, and it was a majority decision in Fight Nights Global. Ever since then, he's beaten some very solid guys on the regional scene over there in Russia. Joined the UFC in 2020, got decision wins over Bruno Silva and Alan Nascimento. He's got very good wrestling and very good grappling, but so does Tim Elliot. Tim Elliot is also very solid on the ground. He's got a lot of submission wins. Anaconda choke on Mark De La Rosa, submission win on Matt Schnell, Bulldog choke on Charlie and Alazani, however you say that name, submission win on Felipe Efrain, almost submitted Demetrius Johnson as well. He's got very good jiu-jitsu, but that could play to the downfall of Tim Elliot. When you see a guy like Tim Elliot who's got good jiu-jitsu, he kind of goes for the submission. I'm not going to say he's going to do that in this fight, but there is a good chance it does happen. When you're that good of a submission guy, and I'm not really saying Tim Elliot is like a super good submission guy, but if you have a decent submission pedigree, you tend to, like, you see a guillotine there, you're just going to hop on it and hope you get that submission. Tagir has very good submission defense, and if Tim Elliot gets taken down, I'm really afraid that Tim Elliot might just keep on going for submissions and stay on bottom for 3 straight rounds. That is honestly a very likely outcome to the fight, is Tagir landing the takedowns and Tim just looking for submission after submission after submission, not really landing them, and Tagir just ground and pounding for a decision win. So that's exactly what I think is going to happen. Maybe Tim Elliot can land one of those submissions. Maybe Tim Elliot keeps the fight on the feet and wins the decision, but with the fact that Tim just keeps on going for those submissions, he's going to kind of accept being on bottom against Tagir, and Tagir is going to grind out yet another decision win, getting his 3rd in the UFC. So I got Tagir Ulanbekov by a unanimous decision. Umar Nurmagomedov and Brian Kelleher in the bantamweight division. The odds on this one crazy, minus 670 for Umar Nurmagomedov against a 24-12 veteran and Brian Boom Kelleher. Brian coming off a good wins over Domingo Pilarte, Kevin Kroom, Ray Rodriguez, Hunter Azure, Ode Osborne, only losing to Cody Stamen and Ricky Simone. Cody, top 25 bantamweight, Ricky Simone, top 15 bantamweight, John Lineker, 1 championship fighter, Marlon Vera, top 15, Montel Jackson, probably a future top 15 as well, so he's really only losing to the best of the best, or maybe like ranked outside of the rankings UFC bantamweight and featherweight fighters. I do believe Umar is another one of those guys. The guys that Brian Kelleher are beating, nowhere near the pedigree of Umar Nurmagomedov. Yeah, Kevin Kroom, Domingo, Ray Rodriguez, Hunter Azure, all of these guys are decent, but I see all of them just kind of getting cut from the UFC in a year or two. Like, Kevin Kroom's not going to be in the UFC in a year, and in a year or two, Domingo Pilarte, same thing. Ray Rodriguez, same thing. A lot of these guys are really just guys that are like, they could be in the UFC, they could be on the regional scene, they're really just not that good. Umar Nurmagomedov's the real deal. He's got very solid spinning kicks on the feet, very solid boxing. He's going to be very tall, very lengthy, having a 5-inch reach advantage and a 2-inch height advantage, having much better wrestling, much better grappling. He's younger, he's more fit, he's a Nurmagomedov. it's going to be a Nurmagomedov win here. I'm going to go finish. I know Brian Kelleher hasn't been finished too much in his fights in the UFC. The last time he was finished was Montel Jackson by a submission, Oliveira by submission, John Lineker by knockout. Yeah, in the last 2 years he hasn't been finished, but it's Umar Nurmagomedov. Umar has better grappling than both Montel Jackson and Oliveira. If they were able to go out there and submit him, I think Umar will show that he can get the submission as well. So I got Umar Nurmagomedov getting a submission in the first or second rounds. Marina Moroz and Mariya Agapova, two almost Mariyas because it's a Marina and Mariya, but it's going to be a fight in the flyweight division, one from Kazakhstan and one from the Ukraine. 30 years old and then 24 years old. Slight height advantage for Marina Moroz, but a slight reach advantage for Mariya Agapova. I would say the grappling and wrestling goes Mariya Agapova. She's coming off a very solid submission win over Sabina Mazo, where before that, she was actually doing very, very good in the striking as well. I would say both girls kind of tend to lean on their striking more to win their fights. Mariya Agapova has very, very good boxing, but she doesn't really have the cardio to sustain that boxing for a very, very long time, as was shown in the Shayna Dobson fight. But Marina Moroz, she's pretty solid. She's a veteran. Has been fighting for a pretty long time, 5 years in the UFC. Hasn't been too active, as her last fight was about 2 years ago. But overall, I think Mariya Agapova is going to be the better boxer here. She throws a little bit more volume, and she lands with a little bit more power as well. I believe if she wants to, she could mix in a takedown here and there. She does have good rear nakeds on her record, getting submission wins over Sabina Mazo and Hannah Cipher. So there's a good chance we could see a submission here, but I think Mariya is going to mainly play the boxing here and win the fight by a unanimous decision. It's a very solid fight. I think it could be an absolute banger. I don't think either girl really likes the other opponent. It's going to be a very, very solid striking fight. I expect at one point or another there's going to be some gashes of blood or something like that. I don't really know why, I just have a feeling. But Mariya, being the solid boxer, being the better striker, better grappler, better wrestler, overall, in my opinion, being the better fighter everywhere the fight goes, I'm going to go Mariya Agapova by a unanimous decision. Negumereanu and Kennedy Nzechukwu in the light heavyweight division. I'm going to say it right now, coin flip. I mean, it's a 50-50 fight if I have ever seen one. If you look at Kennedy, he's 29 years old, almost in the prime of his career, very tall, very lengthy, with a 5-inch height and 5-inch reach advantage. He's gotten some solid wins, going out there, decisioning Darko Stosic, getting knockout wins over Carlos Ulberg and Danilo Marquez, but he was losing those fights. He was getting absolutely destroyed by Carlos Ulberg in the striking in that first round. Came back and knocked him out. He was getting absolutely destroyed in the wrestling from Danilo Marquez. Came back and he knocked him out. Those guys are very, very good at what they do. Carlos Ulberg is a very, very, very good striker. Trains with Israel Adesanya. It was pretty okay to assume he would probably have the better striking than Kennedy Nzechukwu. So, of course, Carlos had the advantage early on, but then Kennedy came back and knocked him out. Danilo Marquez, it was obviously right to assume he's going to have the better wrestling and go out there and control him early, but of course, he came back and he knocked him out. Negumereanu isn't really that good in one facet of the game. He's not as good of a wrestler as Danilo Marquez. He's not as good of a striker as Carlos Ulberg. So I don't really see Negumereanu going out there doing what either Danilo or Carlos Ulberg did and dominating Kennedy Nzechukwu in either facet of the game. I expect this fight to be a very, very close one. I do believe Kennedy has the advantage in the later rounds. He's shown to be an absolute beast in that third round and in that second round. I believe Kennedy has the power advantage. He's taller. He's lengthier. Maybe Negumereanu does have the wrestling advantage and could play to that early on in the fight, but I'm going to go Kennedy Nzechukwu. I believe he will lose the first round, but he will come back and win the second and third round with the striking. Prediction, Kennedy Nzechukwu by a 29-28 decision. Marina Rodriguez and Xiaonan Yan in the women's strawweight division. A heavy favorite going for Marina Rodriguez, and I'm going to say it right now, I agree with these odds right there. You might think it's a little bit much for Marina Rodriguez. I think it might be a little bit much, to be quite honest with you, but Marina Rodriguez is the real deal. She's an amazing striker, going out there looking amazing. losing against Michelle Waterson and Amanda Ribas, knocking out Amanda Ribas, dominating Michelle Waterson for 5 rounds in the striking to get that unanimous decision, then showing amazing takedown defense on Mackenzie Dern, and then beating her as well. I do believe Xiaonan probably has better striking than Mackenzie Dern, maybe has like even striking to Michelle Waterson and Amanda Ribas, but come on, Marina Rodriguez, she's going to be taller by 1 inch, she's going to be 2 inches longer in reach, she has the power advantage, she's got the volume advantage, she's just a better striker, and I don't see a path to victory that Xiaonan goes out there and out-wrestles and out-grapples Marina Rodriguez. It's just not going to happen. This is one that's going to be a striking fight. I don't see Marina knocking her out in the striking. See the fight going all the way the full 3 rounds. Maybe Jan can win 1 or 2 rounds. I'm just kidding. Maybe just win 1 round. But overall, Marina Rodriguez, better striker, more power, more speed, more volume, taller, lengthier, bigger, stronger, faster, more powerful. I can go on and on. Marina Rodriguez by a 30-27 unanimous decision. Really good fight in the women's strawweight division. Jalin Turner and Jamie Mullarkey in the lightweight division. Jamie Mullarkey at plus 110 as the underdog. He's got very solid boxing, going out there, falling in love with his hands a little bit, kind of like Justin Gaethje in the lightweight division, but going out there, knocking out Kama Worthy, and then knocking out Devonte Smith. Kama Worthy, he doesn't really have the best chin, no longer in the UFC, and then Devonte Smith kind of gassed out a little bit in that fight, but Jamie Mullarkey showed really solid striking in the Devonte Smith fight, showed he can eat a few punches as well, showed really good body strikes, and he's young in his career, so is Jalin Turner, but if I'm going to be honest with you, Jalin Turner's going to have that striking advantage, and if Jamie Mullarkey is going to win, it's not going to be how he did his last 2 and knocking out Jalin Turner. Is going to be going out there trying to wrestle and grapple. We know that Jamie Mullarkey can go out there, land a few takedowns, and control the fight a little bit, but I mean, watching Jalin Turner's last fight with Uros Medic showing how good Jalin Turner's wrestling and grappling has improved, I'm going to go Jalin Turner. I'm pretty confident about this one, actually, because Jalin Turner is going to be 3 inches taller. He's going to have a 1.5 inch reach advantage. He's got the better boxing. I think he's slightly, I would say pretty even power there, but he slightly throws... Sorry, I had some acid come out of my throat right there. Oh, jeez, it burns. Oh, God. That's not good. But, yeah, Jalin Turner, but... I kind of lost my train of thought right there. But yeah, Jalin Turner is going to be, in my opinion, the better striker. He's got the better boxing. Not going to be more powerful. I think Jamie Mullarkey, 1-punch power, might have the slight advantage, but Jamie's going to get pieced up, in my opinion, here. Maybe he might have the advantage in terms of cardio and in terms of volume later on as the fight goes, but... Jalin Turner with the height, with the reach, he should have the better boxing here. He should defend the takedowns, keep the fight on the feet for the full 3 rounds. I don't think we're going to see a finish here. I know Jamie Mullarkey tends to get a lot of his wins by finish, and I know Jalin Turner also tends to get a lot of his wins by finish, but Jamie Mullarkey is a very tough guy. I don't think he's been finished, except for maybe 1 time. It was 2 times early in his career by Alexander Volkanovski, and then Luke Kaltebig right there back in 2016. So I don't think we see a finish here. I think Jalin Turner outstrikes to a unanimous decision. Really good fight in the lightweight division. Sergey Spivak and Greg Hardy in the heavyweight division. We actually already did this prediction a while back, because it was scheduled, I believe, for UFC 271. It was supposed to originally be Oleksiejczuk versus Greg Hardy, but then Sergey Spivak stepped in on short notice. Now it is no longer a short notice bout, and we got Sergey versus Greg Hardy. I'm going to be honest, it should be a pretty easy win for Sergey. Greg Hardy, yeah, he's got some solid power in his hands, but we saw exactly what happened against Marcin Tybura. Yeah, maybe Greg Hardy can land a good one shot and knock out Sergey Spivak in the first or second round, but Marcin Tybura ate a few of those shots in the first round. Greg Hardy got really, really tired. His gas tank really failed him in the later rounds. Marcin took him down, and he TKO'd him. Sergey Spivak is going to do the exact same thing. So my prediction here, it's a fairly simple one. It is going to be Sergey Spivak losing the first round, coming back when Greg Hardy is gassed, taking him down and TKOing him in the second or third round. Really good fight in the heavyweight division. Kevin Holland and Alex Oliveira in the welterweight division. It's going to be Kevin Holland's first fight in the welterweight division, as in the middleweight division, he was doing amazing, going out there, knocking out Anthony Hernandez in the very first round in 39 seconds, knocking out Joaquin Buckley in the third round in 32 seconds, knocking out Darren Stewart. No, I believe it was a split decision. I don't know why there's ads over the fight results right there, but it was a split decision over Darren Stewart, a knockout win on Charlie Ontiveros after a slam, and then a knockout from bottom position from Ronaldo Souza. But after that one, he got out-wrestled 2 times in a row by Derek Brunson, probably the best wrestler in the middleweight division. Then Marvin Vettori, probably the second best wrestler in the middleweight division. Then he fought maybe like the third or fourth best wrestler in the middleweight division in Kyle Dawkins with that accidental headbutt. It kind of ruined that fight there. But overall, the only way you're going to beat a guy like Kevin Holland is going to take him down and beat him on the ground. Submit him, TKO him, or just grind to a decision like Derek Brunson and Marvin Vettori did. Ronaldo Souza honestly could have done that. He could have, if he didn't get knocked out from bottom position, he probably would have won that fight. But overall, Jesus Christ, I'm having some weird acid reflex right now. But yeah, Alex Oliveira, he's not the best grappler or wrestler. He's been submitted in a lot of his past fights by Randy Brown, Shavkat Rakhmonov, who is the real deal, Gunnar Nelson right there, Donald Cerrone, Gilbert Burns, and I believe Wallace Dantes as well. But he's been submitted a lot in his career. He's not necessarily a very good wrestler or grappler. This is a perfect fight for the UFC to put for Kevin Holland as his welterweight debut. It should be a fairly self-explanatory one. I'm going to go Kevin Holland with a nice right hand down the middle, knocking out Alex Oliveira in the second or third round. Really good fight in the welterweight division. Edson Barboza and Bryce Michal in the featherweight division. I'm going to say it right now, 50-50. Coin flip. And that's going to decide your winner, because Edson Barboza has shown to have very, very good takedown defense. He fought a very solid grappler and wrestler in Mako Namirakani, defended a lot of those takedowns, and he destroyed him on the feet. His only losses are to very, very solid strikers, Paul Felder, Giga Chikadze. I mean, Dan Ige is not the best striker there, but overall, I think he did enough to win that fight. Justin Gaethje, and then Khabib Nurmagomedov. That's the only guy on the list that's a very, very good wrestler and grappler. Maybe Tony Ferguson as well, but I do believe that Edson Barboza has very good takedown defense. He's going to be the bigger fighter here. He is the lightweight moving down to the featherweight division since that Dan Ige fight. He's the better striker. He's way better on the feet. But again, Bryce Mitchell is way better on the ground, and that is why it is a coin flip. I have no idea what's going to happen here, because it could take one shot. Edson Barboza just stays at range, throws a wheel kick, and knocks out Bryce Mitchell. That could happen. We have no idea what happens in a fight where we have a pure grappler who has like horrible striking, and then Edson Barboza was a very, very good striking, and doesn't really have too good of offensive wrestling or grappling, but has very, very solid defensive wrestling. So I think it's a 50-50 fight. If you're going to be betting it, go the underdog path. But prediction wise, I'm going to go Bryce Mitchell by decision. I think he's just going to go out there, just grind, takedown, ground and pound, submission attempt over and over for 3 rounds to a 29-28 decision. It's going to be a close one. Edson Barboza has been in a lot of close decisions recently. Dan Ige and the Paul Felder were both split decision losses in the lightweight and featherweight division. This could be another one of them where the judges might be valuing Bryce Mitchell's wrestling and grappling a little more than the flashy striking of Edson Barboza. Again, 50-50. I mean, it could go either way. This should not be 60-40. It should be 50-50. But I'm going to go Bryce Mitchell. I think he grinds out a decision. Not a confident pick by any means, because I mean, he's got the reach, he's got the height, he's got the power, he's got the speed, and then Bryce has the grappling. I don't know. It's a crazy fight here. Just come on, sit back, eat the popcorn, watch this fight, because it'll be good either way. But I'm going to go Bryce Mitchell by a unanimous decision. Rafael versus Rafael. And I'm, of course, referring to Rafael dos Anjos RDA versus Rafael Fiziev. Rafael Fiziev, probably one of the best strikers when it comes to Muay Thai in the UFC lightweight division. Knocking out Brad Riddell, beating Bobby Green by unanimous decision. Renato Moicano by knockout, Mark Diakese by unanimous decision, and Alex White by a unanimous decision. Same height right there at 5 foot 8 inches tall, and then a 71.5 inch reach right there. But I definitely give the advantage to Rafael Vaziev. I believe in those early rounds. Rafael's takedown defense is amazing. His striking is amazing. He's going to destroy Rafael dos Anjos in the early rounds, in my opinion. But again, if you guys don't know, it is 5 rounds in the UFC lightweight division, as it was, of course, supposed to be the main event for last week, or I believe it was like 2 weeks ago, on that UFC fight night, which was Jamal Hill versus Johnny Walker. But it is 5 rounds. That does tend to favor Rafael dos Anjos, the veteran that has been in a lot of 5-round fights in his career, a former UFC champion, going all the way with Anthony Pettis and plenty of other guys in the UFC lightweight division. It's very tough because I do believe Rafael dos Anjos has the cardio advantage. He's going to have the wrestling advantage. He's going to have the grappling advantage. But Rafael Vaziev has amazing takedown defense and has the better striking. But again, we don't know how good Rafael Vaziev's cardio is going to be in that 4th and 5th round. It's a close one. It's a very, very close one. The only reason I'm going to be going Rafael Vaziev to win is because I know a lot of you guys are going to be looking at this fight, maybe looking at the Bobby Green fight where Rafael Vaziev was a little bit tired in that one. Bobby Green was pushing the pace. Bobby Green has some of the best cardio in this lightweight division. Rafael dos Anjos isn't going to be pushing the pace as much as a Bobby Green would, so I don't think we're going to see the same effect towards Rafael Vaziev's cardio as we did in that Bobby Green fight. So that's the main reason. That was kind of the part that I was kind of iffy on with Rafael dos Anjos maybe having the advantage later on in the fight, but because I don't think Rafael is going to be putting on that pressure as much as Bobby Green was, I think the cardio of Rafael Vaziev will prevail for the majority of the fight as well, and he should win the fight by a decision right here. He's the better striker. He's got really good takedown defense. Probably a future top 5 UFC lightweight fighter. I cannot wait for this co-main event. I got Rafael Vaziev by a unanimous decision. Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal in the main event, welterweight fight, 5 rounds, and it's going to be a banger. Colby Covington, better wrestling. Jorge Masvidal, probably going to have the better boxing and the better kicking game as well. Maybe Colby has the better body kicks, but overall, the striking advantage is going to go Jorge Masvidal. Both guys only recently losing to Kamaru Usman. We saw Jorge get dominated. I believe it was like a 50-45 on those judges' scorecards by unanimous decision. It was short notice, but then not on short notice. About 10 months ago, Jorge gets knocked out, I believe, in the 2nd round. Colby got knocked out by Usman as well, and then got a unanimous decision loss, I believe, 48-47. So both of the guys only losing to the champion, Kamaru Usman, and that really does show you how good Kamaru Usman really is. I do believe Jorge, again, is going to have the striking advantage, but if you look and if you hear the interviews from Colby, from Jorge, even the training partners of Colby and Jorge, the guys that were there when Jorge and Colby were training with each other, wrestling with each other, striking with each other. I've seen interviews from a lot of the people that were watching Colby and Jorge train with each other, and they were saying Colby was dominating in the wrestling, and they were saying Jorge was piecing up Colby Covington in the striking. That's exactly what you would expect, but of course it is going to be a good fight. I think either way, it'll be a pretty much a banger fight. If Jorge's getting taken down for the full 5 rounds, whenever the fight is on the feet, he's going to go crazy, going for flying knees, head kicks, body kicks, I mean, just going crazy. Superman punches, left hook, right hook, just looking for that knockout every chance he can get, because that is going to be the way Jorge Masvidal wins, is going to be that knockout. But can he get it? Yes. Will he? No. Colby's going to have the better wrestling, better cardio, better grind, I believe better volume on the feet as well. Jorge does have very good power in his hands, but Colby's volume on the feet, honestly, is not that bad. So I don't think Colby is going to be that lacking in the striking department. It's just he needs to go out there and take him down. So it's going to be a good fight, but Colby is going to keep the fight relatively even on the feet, stay away from the big punches of Jorge, the flying knees, the head kicks, and things like that. Take down Jorge Masvidal whenever he needs to, and Colby Covington should win the fight by a unanimous decision. Really good fight in the welterweight division. And that is my full card prediction. I got Colby Covington by unanimous decision, Rafael Vaziev by a unanimous decision, Bryce Michal by a very, very close decision, Kevin Holland by knockout in the second round, or first or second round. I got Sergey Spivak, second or third round TKO, Jalin Turner by a decision, Marina Rodriguez by a decision, Kennedy Nzechukwu, Mariya Agapova by a decision, Umar Nurmagomedov by a submission, Tagir Ulanbekov by a decision, Devonte Smith by knockout, and Dustin Jacoby by a decision. Cannot wait for this fight card. Again, if you guys liked the video, make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications. And as usual, if you want to become a channel member, go to the end of any one of my videos. You'll see this one right here on the screen, and y'all can sign up for only 10 cents. It's literally a dime a day, and you can press this join button for literally 10 cents a day to become a channel member right there. So make sure to become a channel member and see all of my favorite UFC bets, Bellator bets, PFL bets, LFA bets, whatever organization out there that does MMA, I will put out all of my favorite bets. So if you guys liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and become a channel member as well. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Let's go.